everybody. We are live. Hey, everybody. Hey, everybody. And welcome to Just a Little More. We are here Tuesday live. I know it's been a minute, but here at Just a Little Bit More, we love to get just a little bit more information. We love to get a little bit of tea. And we always like to end with a whole lot of love. Tonight I have some powerhouses. That's what I'm gonna say. Powerhouses on the screen joining me today. Some favorites. You've seen them on the show before, so they're not strangers to Just a Little Bit More. But I just really want them to go around and introduce themselves. And tell their favorite snack. So introduce yourself, tell your favorite snack, and then we'll jump right into it. Okay, so we'll start with the Wrights, and then we'll go to TC.
All right. Hey, everybody. We are your favorite couple. We are the Wrights, and we want to say hello to the audience again. It's good to be back with y'all once again. Excited to be here. Excited for tonight's topic. Maybe tell them what's your favorite snack.
I thought you were going to go first. Okay. Well, actually, I don't know if this is a snack, but it's probably something I may need to give up. But if you guys have never heard of crumble cookies,
It's not.
I love crumble cookies. I love crumble cookies. Please hear me when I say I love it. Go ahead, Zach.
I guess for me, my most recent new favorite snack is the little miniature gold Oreos.
Yeah, you've been out of control.
That's good. That's good.
They're real small, but I like the little gold. I don't like the chocolate Oreos. I like the gold ones.
Okay.
That's why I said I thought cookies was a snack. Your cookies a snack.
No, crumble cookies it's an experience now. It is an experience, but I don't know about a snack. Okay, TC, your name and favorite snack.
Okay, well, hello everybody. I'm glad to be a favorite of the show. You called us favorites.
Yes.
Favorite. So, Pastor TC, as Jonathan would say, Taquavius. And my favorite snack would be, last time I said avocados and y'all threw out my favorite snack. So this time, and it was like, nah, that's not fair. Popcorners. What about that? Popcorners.
Okay.
All the flavors are good. They're good.
That's good. My favorite is animal crackers and hummus. Try it. Don't judge me.
Oh, Lord.
It is so good. Good balance. It's good. A little health and a little in between. Listen, y'all, we're going to get right into a little chit chat. I always like to start with a little hot topic. And I know everybody in the world, if you have not been talking about this, you have. When Sarah Jakes pulled that wig back and it went back like that. No. What are y'all thoughts about that? About her going full-fledged wig back, wig cap showing? Like, what are y'all thoughts about it? What's the 411? Because some people think she staged it. Some people think that she staged it, and some people think like that was like such a great moment for her ministry to kind of talk about just being bare and being vulnerable. Like, what are y'all thoughts on it?
Wow. Well, you know what? I actually chimed into a post that I saw, and the post that I saw was leaning on the side of maybe she staged it. And so, my
I thought you had thought that.
That's not my thought, but this is what the post was. And I kind of came to her defense a little bit because, for me, I am so slow to jump people on the stage, first of all, especially when I live a life as a public leader. You never know what the intention or what the purpose of a sermon or demonstration. If it was a part of, I don't know, if she planned it, it worked. Other women took off their wigs. She got the house going. She exhorted everybody to take off their wigs. But, I feel like it was a good demonstration from the snippet that I saw. I'm not sure if it was staged or not, and I think none of us really know. But for me, if some people, received a good message from that, let the message live. We want to chime on and we talk about clickbait, but then we fall to the same clickbait that we criticize.
Yes.
I'm just slow to jump people that are on the stage, and people in the audience can always talk about it until you up there.
Listen,
and your skirt fall off.
I thought she was so real when she saw, because I know it went stage, because how that wig cap look, that went stage. It wasn't even a cute one. So that's what I was like, I know that wasn't stage. I really believe that was such a great moment to show vulnerability as a leader on stage. It was slipping the whole time. It started like this, and then it had went like that. And then by the time it was slipping.
I love your demonstration.
Listen, and by the time it needed to come on off. I said, Sarah, pull it, sis. Pull it.
You know what? I did see Bishop Jakes or the Potter's House release a little short snippet of the powerful moment that happened. And they did not show, not the clip that I saw, the clip that I seen, they did not show her wig off. They showed it when it was slipping, and they showed the after effects. Yes. So that also made me think that it probably wasn't staged, because they tried to clean it up when they released their recap video.
Yes, I know. I definitely think that was just very real. And I know the rights are coming back in. They got a little disconnected, but I think for women, and one, I'm going to go ahead and add them in, and she's trying to get it fixed up. Yeah, we all are back. We're so glad to have y'all back. We're glad to have y'all back. It is fine. I want to get your opinion on the Sarah Jakes thing. We said that I think we both are inconsistent that it wasn't staged. We believe that was something that happened just naturally. What are y'all thoughts on it?
Well, as a professional wig wearer, because I wear wigs, so I know, especially when you're singing and talking and preaching, and your head gets to sweating, they can actually happen. It can get caught on to the back of your shirt. I've had it happen, so that's why I have to make sure I keep my combs tucked, because it can happen. But I am gonna say this: I was actually never a Sarah Jakes fan until that. Yeah. After I watched that, she won me as a fan, because I could feel the realness in that.
Yeah.
Because I know how tricky the enemy is. So that thing, see how he tried to just throw us out.
He threw your phone down.
That But how tricky and he does things to try to embarrass you, to stop your testimony, and to take the power away from you. And I loved how she regained it, and she kept her composure, and she still got the message across.
Yeah, I would say amen to that too, because I really believe in that moment she was able to demonstrate like really what the woman with issue blood was going through, what a lot of women go through, and that no matter what, that she got to the purpose of it. So I'm with you. I was always a Sarah Jakes, TD Jakes fan, but when she did that, I said that's my sister, because that's something my sister would do. That wig could go off. You hear me?
Pull it off.
Pull it off. But that kind of goes in talking about, like, y'all both were pastors. And I wanted to talk about the balance of having a regular life and being a pastor. I can understand, like you were saying, Tracy, when y'all are on that stage and when you're under the microscope and when people have their eyes on you, you know what I'm saying? You have to feel like you have to be perfect. Like you feel sometimes like you have to almost put on. But I think, what is that balance for you of like being a pastor and just having a regular life, or even not even taking that on, like just being regular? What would you say that balance for you as pastors? How have y'all been able to balance that?
Okay, is that for us?
It's for both.
Oh, okay.
We'll let Pastor TC go first.
Okay.
Balance is such a tricky thing. And I think that balance is something we'll literally be practicing every day. I think there's some things that you can institute into your life, your schedule, to make sure you're creating self-care, time for yourself and your family. But for me, this is something I'm continuing to learn. I think the best of us are still learning the best practices of balance. I think one day can throw you out of what you had as balance. One day can throw everything off, 1 hour. So for me, balance is making sure I have time off. So now that I am full force, I'm just a whole pastor here. And it's coming out of the industry and having more time. I still have to learn balance, because I'm just a natural person where I'm always trying to find what's next. And the visionary leader is always trying to build something new. And our problem is we try to do too much at one time. So I'm learning how not to do that, not to fill up every second of my day. But for me, it's making sure I have at least 2 days where I do nothing, just some wasted time. And that was a bad potty word for me, but some time where I can just sit in the bed, lay in the bed for till 11 o'clock and watch my favorite television show, just do something different, making sure I have family time, making sure I'm playing with my son. Now he's 4 and he's like, hey, when you gonna come and play? So now he is verbalizing some things. I'm like, let me get up and go in there so he won't have a story that my dad was just a pastor. So, it's a learning every day. It's checking myself every day and making sure I'm not just led and guided by, the next text message, because the text message and phone calls can run our days sometimes. But it's just being intentional about our day-to-day life.
Okay, so I think my take is gonna probably be a little different because Pastor Leon and Pastor TC, they're the pastors, they're the shepherds of the property, Lord, of the flock. I'm thinking about real estate, and I would probably say, because I'm speaking from a wife's perspective, we try to be very intentional, because number one, I have to share my husband, my friend, with other people. And I have to, number one, make sure that I don't get in my feelings. I have to make sure that I don't feel like, okay, he's paying no more attention to me. So in order for me to keep balance with that, I think that's why we're so faithful to date night on Friday. We do it mostly on Fridays. Sometimes we have to push them to Saturday. But I think to help us keep that balance between us, I would probably say, what you think, is making sure we have that date night. And then the other thing is something that we have incorporated is after Sunday services, that ride home is very important for us.
Mm-hmm.
That ride home is important for us. And when I say that, no matter how of an amazing time we've had, that's the time I think Leon lets me just talk. That ride home, because we have about an hour now with our second service, our second location. So by the time we get home, he lets me just talk. And that right there keeps me balanced, because after he prayed for everybody and hugged everybody, when I'm in that car, I have his full attention. What you think about it?
Yeah, for me, what I see whenever I hear the word balance, I always think of, you remember when you used to go to the doctor, that before everything became digital, when you had to stand on that scale, and they would put it at a mark, and then it would tip one way or the other. It would either go up or down, and then they had to slide that little bar back and forth until they got it just right. And that's kind of how I view balance. A lot of times when we're, especially now as being a pastor, I have to, and then definitely with 2 locations now is even the more. So I have to be set it at one place, set my life or the goals, whatever it may be, the day, whatever it is, at one place, and then I have to slide that little bar. I have to slide it. So I make sure that my wife gets some time. I make sure my children get some time. I make sure this person gets some time. I make sure this person gets some time. I make sure this location gets time, this location. And so that's how we have to, that's whenever I hear balance concerning ministry, that's kind of how I always view it, is like set the standard, set the goal, set the bar, whatever you want to call it. And then you have to be intentional, as my wife and as Pastor TC said, about sliding that little bar to make sure everything is weighing out. So that's kind of just how I view balance. But I would concur with what both people say.
Now, here's my thing, because I know y'all are pastors, y'all are so super, anointed, saved. How do you deal when you want to, like, when a joker try you? Like, you know what I'm saying? Well, really, they don't want Pastor TC, they don't want Pastor Tracy, Pastor Leah, and they want Tracy. They want TC. How do you hold that tongue? Because that's a word. How do you hold it? Give us the skills, because as we grow, and like, how do we not cuss them up? Cuss them out.
Yeah.
How do we not do that?
Some need to be. I do think some.
Yeah. Some ain't gonna be satisfied until you do it. But well, you know what? Let me say it this way, because what I found out is, growing up as a Christian and Christian belief, we've always been of the thought process that Jesus was very, very mild spoken. But if you read the scriptures carefully, he wasn't afraid to tell you what he thought about you. He called the Pharisees, y'all brood of vipers. I'm gonna call you out. We know the infamous one when he came in the church flipping tables over, calling you turned it into a den of thieves. So we've got that misconception that Jesus was very mild mannered and mild spoken, and that And that's how we have to do. Yes, he was careful to bridle his tongue for certain things, and he used his wisdom because he knew that it was about what the Heavenly Father wanted. So, but he knew that there were times where he had to go there, and that's what we as human beings have to know. And I got to follow that type of model. That I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna tell you what's what now, but I got to be careful about how I say it when I say it. I got to be wise about, because it's not about me and my feelings. It's about doing the work of the kingdom, doing the work of our Father. So that's another area that you have to balance.
Baby, I'm gonna tell you this, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart. And Johnny, you probably don't want to hear this response, but without God's presence has saved a lot of people.
Oh, Jesus.
And it honestly comes from a relationship with Him, that God has really softened our heart. He's locked our lips a lot of times, but I tell people, if I hadn't been in His presence, if we ain't been praying, we have been communing with the Father, you will get something different. So the best thing for our members to do is to pray. We keep a relationship with God, because God's presence has taught me how to love. It has taught me how to forgive. It has even taught me how to talk to people. But if I don't spend that time with Him,
that's the skill that you're looking for right there.
You
knowing how to spend time with Jesus. That's the skill.
Spending time with, you know what? For me, I think it's all about the temperament style of a person. And for me, now I used to cuss good. Now I can still cuss good. But now that I'm in an office, one thing that really grieves me, and I'm not talking about what, sometimes, listen, the line is crossed. But, we hear so much, and we see so many leaders who they just live way outside of the line of where I feel. I still think there's a line. There's still boundaries. And for me, I just don't let nobody take me there. You can't get me there. I'm going to shut the phone off. I'm going to redirect you. And I come with a presence where people don't try me like that. People try me, but they know that there's a switch, right? And the switch, and you know this, Jonathan, about me as your friend. You say this all the time. I can get you with my words. And I don't have to raise my voice. I don't have to cuss. But I can make some people mad, and they start cussing, and I'm cool and leaving. I'm saying what I had to say, and I don't slice you and bandage you, and I'm gone before I become another scandal, or I fall into this trap that you set for me to fall in. But you not gonna get me there. And I know that almost sounds like a pretty answer, but I think it's people with different temperament style. Like my wife now, she might not say that you ain't gonna get her there. She might say you don't have to get me back from there. But for me, and we're different. And I've learned to also accept people for their differences, right? And people know who they want to try. They can, I have more forbearance. One of my gifts is also mercy. So, it takes me a little longer.
Now, my last question, then we'll cut it off. The people are now, they said a lot of people are not going to church. Okay. And a lot of times they pinned that into pastors either, got the Bentleys and the rides and the, all that kind of stuff. And they feel like you're living off the church and all that kind of stuff. That's the preconceived notion. A lot of people are leaving church because people are hypocrites. They feel like people are hypocritical. What would you say to somebody who's already a skeptic and they really want to come to church? What would be the advice you would give them to kind of be like, okay, I'll give it a try? What would be something you would say to somebody who's a full-on skeptic of like, let me try to come? Because, I think y'all are giving a different side of church where I think a lot of people who are watching, who are listening, be like, I'll come to their church. But what would be something you would say to them?
I would figure out what type of church they don't want to be at. Because usually that's the church I don't want to be at either. And sometimes we get morphed into the group of people that maybe hurt them or the trauma that they experience. Or someone, as you said, that's closer with them that they consider to be a hypocrite. And I think this is not this segment, but your story is great. I never compel you to come. Now you serve with me every
Mhm.
week. And you was far from that, right? That's a
Yeah.
whole testimony.
No, I
Your
didn't want to
story is
go.
great.
I didn't want to
but
go.
when you but when you meet someone, I think this is why it's also important just to be yourself. I was always myself. I'm always myself wherever I am. And I think it's the relationship, right? Because sometimes people they just want to see it. They don't want to hear about how different you are. They're not that interested that we a different church, because you got every church saying we different, but they want to experience who are you. Like, if you're a rude person, they expect this from your church. If your lifestyle's a little, they expect this from your church also. So I believe it's the relationship. The last thing people know about me is that I am a pastor, not because I'm ashamed of the cross or my cloth. It's because I want to see who you are, and I want you to know who I am without any judgment and the preconception. So I feel like the relationships that we ask the church build when we on Monday and on Tuesday, that's the demonstration of what the church is before we get them in our building. They want to experience who we are as people. And I think when they see who we are as people, they don't mind coming to the building with us. So I think we just have to do a good job of just being. And I don't think it's a big convincing you to get to the building if you can't experience that in me.
Okay, I think that was a loaded kind of question to actually answer, because you have people that already have this preconceived notion of what they think or what they want. Is it Amos 3:3 that says, how can two walk together unless they agree? And one of the things that we really believe big time on is communication. So if we're talking to a person that is saying, hey, this is how I feel, because we have met people that have been molested in church. We have met people where the pastor was sleeping with their mom or sleeping, it's all type of things. And the thing is, we need to actually talk and communicate, because if you already come in with those barriers and those walls up, it don't matter what we preach. You're going to always try to find fault in it. And it's literally like a relationship. So let's come in here, let's talk. And if we're just not a good fit for you, you ain't ready to let go of all of your hang-ups, you ain't ready to, then maybe we are not a good fit for you. And sometimes I think you got to be mature enough, know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to let them go. Because while we're so busy trying to tear down your walls, it's another person sitting over here who needs us and actually wants us. So that's why I say it's a loaded question, because we can do everything, and we have done everything we thought was right, and we still couldn't please that one person. So we're actually walking through this now, where we're saying, you know what, we're going to take our attention and now put it on the people that want us. So that's my take. What you think,
people
babe?
that want the help.
That want the help. We don't feel like tearing down no more walls.
Yeah, and I'm gonna just add to what my wife said, and what I will add to what she touched on, the communication. Um, you know, just coming off of Pentecost Sunday, and what happened in Acts chapter 2 when the Holy Spirit fell, and they were speaking in tongues and all that, but the people in the crowd heard them in their own language. So sometimes you have to talk their language to make them feel comfortable enough to come, so that they will know that there is no judgment. Hey, this is a place I really can get help. This is a place they really do understand me. They really do see me. You know, they are not afraid of who I am or where I come from, because sometimes we show them where we come from. But so you talk to them, communicate with them where it may sound different, but they understand what you're saying. And that's just what I wanted to add, because I know we got to kind of short on time, but so that's what I would say.
Okay. Well, closing out, can you tell people where they can come and connect with you if they're looking for a church? Where can they come?
You talking us?
Yeah, go be out. The people want to come.
Well, we'll go first. You can connect with us on Facebook, Destined for Greatness Ministry, or Rice Chapel. We're on Instagram at Destined for Greatness Ministry, Rice Chapel. Then we're located in Tarrant, Alabama at 1049 Pinson Valley Parkway. And then our second location is in Oakman, Alabama at 174 Old Providence Road, Oakman, Alabama 35579. And we have services Sunday at 11:30 a.m. in Tarrant and at 3 p.m. in Oakman, Alabama. And then you can always check us out on Facebook, Leon Tracy Wright, The Wrights. Go ahead.
All right, right. I know y'all got to get out. I love y'all. Thank y'all for coming. See y'all
Thank you.
later. All right, TC, tell me,
Ooh.
where can people connect with you?
Well, you can connect with us. Our church page is Kingdom Culture Church, Kingdom Culture Jefferson on Instagram. We have worship every Sunday at 10 a.m. We have we got a lot going on. Listen, you can catch us virtually. On Wednesdays, we have Power Surge. That's a premiere. That's a live stream of a 20-minute word. So catch us there. Let's back up to Monday. We have a prayer call. If I had the number, I would pin it. But we have a prayer call every Monday at 7 p.m. But if you follow that page, then you'll see everything that we have. We are a posting church to make sure that you don't miss opportunity. Thursday, we have an in-person encounter. That's our Cultivate study. That's Bible study. Every first Thursday of the month, we have altar night. And then we're back at Sunday again. You can follow me. You can find me, Taquavius Chandler, TAQAVEOUS. There's only one. There's only one.
There's only one.
There's only one. And if you find one, let me know. Let me know. But we would love for you to connect with us. Our temporary location, I'll give you location, is 371 Hope Haven Road, Jefferson, Georgia.
It's worth the drive. It's worth the drive. I would tell anybody connected. It's worth the drive. And for people who I would say are like me or were like me, who are really kind of skeptical, who really are just tired, they didn't really want to go to church, they're over people judging them, they're over all of those things, I would say find a church that is for you, if that's what you want to do. But they also have online options. You can look at all this online everywhere. Go find you an online church or find whatever your spiritual connection may be for you, because I know that finding a safe place is hard. So this is not to compel you to be like, go to church. This is not.
Yeah.
That's not my intention here. My intention is to just have a platform where people can talk about their faith walk and find your community. Some people, it was this thing where some people go, and I think they go to a coffee shop and they talk about spiritual connections, having coffee. Whatever that is for you, find that. Take your step, whatever you need to do. I'm just telling you some things, and these are some options that you can connect to. Connect with us next Tuesday. We have a Father's Day special. We're going to talk about some fathers, because I believe that there are some amazing fathers out there. There are so many amazing fathers out there, and we're going to showcase, highlight them, give them some shine on this platform. But please connect with us, like, share, and subscribe. Send it out. We're trying to get 1 million people to connect with us. So send it
Highways and byways.
Yes, send it out. We love y'all. We will talk to y'all soon. Have an amazing Tuesday.
Great night, everybody.
Let me end my